Sounds like someone breaking in!
It's just a storm, Dick. Sit down.
Hello, I'm Ayden.
And I'm Josh. Welcome to Undead Ramblings, where we talk all things Call of Duty Zombies, amongst other games, movies, and other media.
This is episode 12 of our podcast, which we are recording on the 5th of June 2025. Last episode, we returned to the world of Call of Duty Zombies and kicked off our discussion of the Black Ops 1 Zombies maps with Kino de Toten. So feel free to check that out if you haven't, as well as all of the previous other episodes. And thanks to everyone who has watched it and supported the channel so far. If you haven't already done so, please do the usual YouTube pleasantries of liking, sharing and subscribing. Josh is very close to 8,600 subs last I checked, so let's continue that support to reach the goal of 9,000 subs by the end of the year. And once again, Josh and I are looking for some help with the Black Ops 1 4-player Easter eggs, being Ascension and Shangri-La. So drop a comment if you're interested, or drop Josh a message in Discord. We both play on Xbox, so that's where we'll be doing it on.
Absolutely.
Other than that, I'll give it over to Josh to go over channel updates and then any gaming news, if there's any.
Alright, so we haven't got a whole lot this week. Again, it's more just a reminder from last time that I'm still recovering the soundtrack content, so that'll be coming in the coming days, hopefully. I might have it up for next week, we'll see. I think I've still got some of those background images that I took in Terminus for the previous uploads, so hopefully I should be able to get those together quite quickly, but I'm going to need to get some more, I think, so I have to work on that. Just need to find time to play Black Ops 6. I haven't played Black Ops 6 casually in donkeys.
Yeah, I know what you mean there.
I mean, I tried a bit of Grief, and that was okay, actually. I quite enjoyed it. Could do with some tuning, like balancing changes a bit, but it's generally not too bad, actually. I quite enjoyed playing it. But anyway, we'll talk about that another time. I might get some footage of it as well at some point if I end up playing it with Liam or something, but we'll see. Alright, so beyond that, for gaming news, we have the Xbox hack, which happened recently on social media, if anyone saw that. So, if you didn't, basically, they were posting about, like, cryptocurrency scams on their Facebook page, which was, like, I don't know about you, but that would set alarm bells off immediately for me, seeing something like that. From Xbox, no less. Can you imagine Xbox trying to sell you on, like, a crypto, like, currency?
That'd be so funny.
I just can't imagine it happening. But, you know.
No.
It is a weird world we live in, so you never know. Perhaps it would.
That's very true. I mean, like, at least from my perspective, like, Sony's got hacked more than Xbox has, so...
Yeah, for sure. And this isn't like a preference argument. Like I say, I personally got both. So, this isn't like a console war comment or anything.
That's true.
But beyond that, Elden Ring Night Rain, which we were supposed to be covering this episode, but I believe you're going to get into it later, aren't you?
Yeah, I'll mention that.
So there's been a patch for that recently, which has rebalanced solo a little bit and made it easier for solo players. So that's always good. I don't think I'll ever play it solo myself. I think
it's not too bad, to be honest.
I think the very short duration we played on co-op, and thanks to anyone who tuned into that stream, by the way. Yeah, that was... I've never really tried it on solo, but I'm not particularly... if you've seen the Dark Souls video, you'll know I'm not particularly seasoned at these games, so... We're just going to try and run with it and try and get some more footage for co-op, aren't we?
Yeah. And as you just mentioned, we'll probably be streaming Elden Ring Night. Well, we streamed it as of when this goes live. We streamed it a couple of weeks ago. So we're probably going to be trying to stream Night Rain more regularly, as well as like perhaps some zombies games. So if you're interested in watching it, us like play these games and listen to our live commentary, so to speak, just keep an eye out on the community page, and Josh will say when we're on. I can't put a direct schedule in just because life is busy.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just whenever we get the chance, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if you fancy just like dropping in and hanging out, then feel free to do so. It was great fun the other night.
It really was, yeah. Like I say, I was a bit uptight about it at first because I wasn't quite sure how it was going to go, but it was really quite casual. I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah. I don't think it would change anything how you and I play, really.
Aye, that's true. Yeah. But yeah, I may yet include the link in the description if anyone wants to go and check if they have a Twitch account or anything like that. I don't know if you're interested in maybe bringing it to YouTube at some point or something like that.
Yeah, probably. I should probably make mention of my Twitch account name.
Yeah, like I say, I'll link to it in the description if anyone wants to.
Okay.
Wants to go to that.
Well, my handle on Twitch, which I'll be streaming on Twitch. You'll kind of be doing your own thing, won't you? Maybe thinking about doing it on YouTube, aren't you?
I'm considering it. I haven't quite decided whether I'm going to go through with it yet, or whether we just use yours. I'm not quite sure. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, as Josh said, it'll be linked in the description below. But my handle is Mr. Hughes95.
Aye.
So feel free to follow, and then you'll get to know when we're on.
All right. Sounds good. All right, so beyond that, I don't think there's anything else we need to cover for gaming news, really.
No. The only other thing is probably, I mean, it comes out today for us, but it'll be, by the time this goes live, it'll already been out a week. The Switch 2 comes out today.
Does it? I totally wrote that off after seeing the price of the games, so I haven't even kept up with the release schedule for it.
That's totally fair. Ours is on the way. We did get one.
Did you?
Either that or get a PS5, and my wife is more of a Nintendo girl, so
yeah,
we went for the Switch anyway. And
Aye.
To be honest with you, I'd only be getting the PS5 for the exclusives.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which didn't really seem... it didn't warrant enough of a sway to get it.
Yeah. No, I get you. Even as like somebody who owns one, like I haven't really touched my PS5 in ages. And most of the time when I play multi-platform stuff, so I totally get where you're coming from. I feel like they knocked it out the park last gen. With the PS4, they had a lot of really good games, but I feel like this one for PS5 has been really slow. Just nothing's really happening. I mean,
this is it. Like my wife's got her has a PS4 back home in America, so she just needs to kind of bring it over here, and then we've actually got like all the exclusives on that.
Literally, because they're all still multi-platform as well. So
exactly. So so we went for the Switch 2 instead. But we'll be very select about what games we got on it.
Yeah, for sure. Like I say, I'm personally not a fan of the £80 game thing, but I can see that that's based on Xbox's recent posts about it. I know we talked about it last time, but just, it seems like it's going to be the thing going forward, unfortunately.
I think my rant on that was lost with the Oblivion episode about...
It may yet have been, actually. Yeah, you may be right.
Yeah, like all of these companies, like it seems like all of these companies are going to be raising their price for video games, which is just infuriating.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not going to rant about it here because I've already got it out of my system, but it boils my blood.
Yeah, totally understandable. I was going to make a point on it, but I've totally just lost it. Just had one of those moments.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's not you. It's just, one of those moments where you just forget everything that you were going to say.
Yeah. Josh and I are turning senile this year, so expect memory losses.
I was to say, unfortunately, I've only got till Sunday, so...
Yeah, that's a bit of news. It's your birthday. Well, it will already been your birthday by the time this comes out.
By the time this comes out, yeah.
Yeah, so... Happy birthday belatedly by the time this comes out, I guess?
Yeah, I guess. Cheers.
Oh, dear.
Alright.
Right, well, I'll jump into the topics for today's episode.
Alright.
So, in this episode of Undead Ramblings, we were going to talk about Elden Ring Night Reign, but being as Josh and I haven't played enough of it to sufficiently discuss it, just because I've only just got to the final boss once, for the first Night Lord, and together we've only gotten to the second night, so I think we came to the decision that we wanted to get a bit more content before we actually gave the game a proper discussion.
Aye.
So instead, we're going to continue our journey through Black Ops 1 and discuss the second on-disc map and the often forgotten and often overlooked map 5. So the topics for this episode will cover its usual spiel, background of the map and the setting, our initial thoughts on the map, cast and story, mechanics and gameplay, music, and then other stuff.
Alright.
So...
Sorry, I'm trying not to interject.
Dive in. That's okay. Do you want me to kind of take this away first, or do you want to kind of do it?
Entirely up to you. You can go for it if you want.
Alright. Well, you can kick off the next section. I think you usually do anyway with the initial thoughts.
I think so, yeah.
So, the background and map setting. This was released as part of the on-disc Zombies experience for Call of Duty Black Ops 1 on November the 10th, 2010. Alongside the iconic Kino der Toten and Dead Ops Arcade. We haven't really decided whether or not we're going to discuss Dead Ops at some point, have we?
We haven't yet. As far as I was aware, the plan is to do Ascension after this, but
yeah.
I mean, we can if you want. I don't mind covering
it. Maybe we'll discuss all of the Dead Ops in one kind of package, so like Dead Ops 1, 2, and 3.
Alright, we could do it that way. Honestly, I can't remember.
I think it's 3. Yeah, yeah, okay. It might be worth doing that as like one package then.
Aye.
Because they're not big games.
Yeah. Sure.
I've never even beaten Dead Ops 1.
I've never beaten any of them.
That's fair. So 5 was initially locked upon starting a new game of Black Ops 1, and could only be unlocked in one of two ways: either beating the campaign, much like you did with what had to do for Nectar and Toten on World at War, or by inputting the code 3ARC unlock in the terminal on the main menu. Do you know if that's still the case, or like if you load up a new game of Black Ops 1 now, did they patch it so that 5 is like always unlocked now?
Yeah, I believe I mentioned it in the last episode for Kino that they patched it, so I believe it's now readily available to anyone upon starting the game.
Right.
Which I think was a good call.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like 5 still automatically plays when you beat the final mission on Black Ops 1's campaign.
Oh, does it?
So yeah. So that's still pretty cool that it kind of immediately jumps into zombies. But yeah, I remember that for me it wasn't initially unlocked.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't initially unlocked back in the day. That's for sure. Because
it must have been after Call of the Dead that they patched that then, because that's when I kind of came around, was around the time that Call of the Dead
honestly I'm not entirely sure
about to be released.
I'm not entirely sure when it was patched. I just know it was at some point.
Fair enough. So I'll let you read the timeline excerpt. I've got it all typed out for you here, so you can do that.
Alright, so November 6th, 1963. In the Pentagon, John F. Kennedy, Richard Nixon, and Robert McNamara meet with Fidel Castro in the aftermath of the Cuban Missile Crisis. Due to the events at the Cosmodrome, a zombie outbreak occurs. Samantha sends Yuri to the Pentagon to thwart their survival after Gersh is freed, and Ultimus departs from the Cosmodrome. The outbreak ends at the Pentagon. All four survive. There we go. I thought that last bit was in there as well, so I was going to add that bit.
Yeah, no. I mean, obviously, as the timeline alludes to, as well as everything about the map, it's set in the Pentagon in the US. So yeah, that's kind of the background of it. That we had a bit of a think about. There wasn't any like development stories behind 5, was there?
We did have a bit of a look into it, as you said, but I don't believe so. There's really nothing on 5. It's kind of like one of those ones that just kind of went by fleetingly, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't really a lot of discussion into what like went into making 5. Which is a shame, because I'd like to see a bit more of like the behind the scenes stuff for some of these earlier maps.
Mm-hmm.
But it was all very.
If we ever get,
oh, go on.
I was gonna say, like, if we ever get the opportunity and we're lucky enough to ever like talk to a Treyarch developer, I'd love to kind of ask about what some stories are.
Yeah, just to find out what like the backstory is for some of these maps.
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in true Zombies fashion, it heavily reuses assets from campaigns, so I think like that's pretty much the same for. I want to say till Call of the Dead. I feel like Call of the Dead is the first kind of, maybe even Shang is the first kind of truly unique, outside of like texture, like elements.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't remember there being anywhere like that in the campaign, but it's been a long time since I played the campaign, so it's kind of hard to say for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for real. Why don't you go with your initial thoughts on the map?
Alright, so I don't really remember my first time playing 5, I'll be honest. This one's kind of a bit muddled. It's not my favourite, being up front. It's definitely a lot more difficult than Kino de Turton, and a lot more has a lot more in common with, like, I assume the more recent release, well, at least in terms of Chronicles, is probably Shangri-La. Is probably the map it has the most in common with, for anyone who played that on Chronicles, or even the original.
Yeah,
it's definitely a much tougher map to get into. There's like, I believe as you mentioned in one of the later notes, there's like 3 floors you can navigate to. So you've got the spawn one, which is the top floor. You've got the middle bit with the actual, the Pentagon, like the real thick of the map. And the basement where you get your Nova Crawlers back from Kino de Turton. And if you watched our video on that, you'll already know how I felt about those. I don't hate them, but I just find them to be more of a nuisance than an actual threat that you take seriously, But yeah, so I'm trying to think how I'd phrase how I feel about it. It's difficult. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
It feels like a World at War map in that way. It's very like you'll only make it to like round 15 generally, something like that. Yeah, it's not. I suppose I should probably mention that the you do have teleporters on the bottom floor, so you can like get jumped around the map, but you don't really get to choose where you're going, do you? It's more like a random thing. So you get teleported all around the basement level.
Yeah.
I think the cast is pretty fun. I do enjoy the cast. But I don't really care too much for the map itself. I'm trying to be very vague because I don't want to spoil the stuff we're going to go into when we talk about the map properly.
Yeah. It's just like your kind of initial impression.
Yeah. So yeah, I've always been a bit mixed on 5. I don't dislike it. I don't hate it. It's just it's a really tough one to get into, and especially for a launch map. I think it works well as the second half of Kino. So you have one really hard map and one relatively easy one, or really easy depending on who you ask. But yeah, it's never been a standout one for me. What about you?
Yeah, I think I kind of fall in the same boat as you do there. It's not terrible. We've had worse maps.
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely Black Ops 1's weakest offering.
Yeah, for sure.
At least in my opinion. I think up until this point, the most tightest map we've had would probably be like Verrückt, up to this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's honestly like you hit the nail on the head there. It kind of like serves as the other side of Kino, where you got like, which is almost like the formula that they go on with subsequent games. Is that like for launch maps you got one easy map and one harder map.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've spent quite a bit of time on it. Had quite a lot of fun on it as well. But it's not the map that. It's definitely lower on my list. If I was to rate it.
Yeah, it's not the map you come back to Black Ops 1 for, basically.
Yeah, exactly,
Oh.
exactly. Though, like yourself, the cast are amazing in this. Like Nixon and Kennedy offer some of my favorite quotes in the entire series.
Oh yeah, for sure. Some of them, I still quote today, even jokingly. The one that always stuck with me was the 2 times 2 is still 0. For some reason, that always... or 2 times 0, sorry.
Yeah. I think for me, there's 2 quotes. One from Nixon, where he drinks quick speed cola and goes like, "I'm not a crook, I'm not a crook, I'm not a crook."
I never got Nixon. I always got McNamara or JFK. Every time. Every single time.
Do you remember back in the day where you could just immediately pause and then press restart on the in the menu?
Oh, I miss that
didn't have
so
to go
much.
All the way.
I hate that that's not a thing these days.
You didn't have to go all the way back to the main menu and the character selection and things like that. It's just immediately upon hearing a quote that you don't of a character that you don't want, you just restart.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. No, I don't know why they cut that. Initially, I noticed it became a thing more as we moved into, the live service angle with Call of Duty. It's been since we went that direction that it's gradually been phased out, so I don't know if that has something to do with it. Whether it's
It probably would be the case. I think Black Ops 3 might even be one that you couldn't have done it. You had to go back to the proper main menu for.
Well, what's frustrating with Black Ops 3 is you can do it, but only in local play.
Right, okay.
It doesn't work when you're connected to the servers, which is just daft. I don't design games for a living, but I just don't believe for a second that there is no way to implement this in the live service format. I refuse to believe that. At least for single player. I understand online, but single player, come on. Yeah, anyway, sorry, I'm going off on a bit of a tirade here.
No. I mean, speaking of the cast, we might as well move on to kind of cast and stories. So, we've got a new crew featuring. It's the first new crew since Ultimus was introduced, and that's featuring iconic presidents and politicians from the 60s. So we got President John F. Kennedy. Richard Nixon, who would become a president later on. You got Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara and President of Cuba Fidel Castro.
It's definitely an interesting choice of protagonists, but I think it works.
Yeah, I think the kind of wild card here, or the spot the difference, or one does not belong. That's the one.
Yeah.
The word I'm looking for is Nixon, in my opinion.
Does he? Does he even appear in the campaign? I know the other 3 do.
No.
He's literally just made for. He's literally just made for 5.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it feels like they kind of had right, we need a 4th person here. Who's it gonna be?
Yeah. That's interesting though. Like I said, it's been ages since I played Black Ops' campaign, so. I just assumed they were all in it, but that's cool to know that they weren't.
No. And just a bit of trivia here. I know we've got the trivia section later on, but particularly about these characters, I think all of them or at least Kennedy does, have a different voice actor in Zombies than he does in Campaign.
Oh, does he?
Uh-huh.
Again, it's been a long time.
Yeah, and Robert McNamara is voiced by the same person who does the Shadow Man.
All right. I'm sure you've told me that before. I think I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, so just a little bit of fun facts for you there.
Aye, spot on.
Do you want to go over the next bit?
Yeah, sure. Alright, so this is set alongside the events of Ascension, which we'll be getting to eventually. I believe that's referenced through the phones, is it?
On Ascension, yeah.
Yeah. Is it, like, confirmed that, I suppose if they're using the phones, I assume it's for the Easter egg song, is it? That they'll be using them?
It'll be, yeah, so, I mean, on Ascension, you can listen to them on the phone. Or on the phones that are scattered around the map, and it is assumed that it is the red phones that they're using that are scattered around in 5.
Yeah.
It was also confirmed that it's set at the same time on the timeline because both maps take place on the same date. So, yeah.
Do you mind reiterating that
okay?
a second? The mic went, I think.
Oh, that's okay. I was just saying it was confirmed on the timeline that both maps, Ascension and
Right.
5, take place on the same day as well.
So yeah, I was literally about to mention that. Whether it was on the timeline, but like I said, for some reason the audio went. I think it's this cable. I swear my headphone cable's been dodgy recently.
No
anyway,
worries.
back to it. So we also found out later on, like, we didn't really get into it before, but this has a unique boss called the Pentagon Thief, which steals your weapons. So, like, you'd have to kill him before, because he'd come for each player, like, one at a time, and you'd have to make sure you dispatch him before he gets all your weapons, otherwise you've lost your weapons for that round, or the rest of the game even, unless you can get them back. So that was a pretty fun mechanic, honestly. Like, I think, had it been on another game, I probably would have preferred it, but because everything in Black Ops 1 is so spongy, he was just more of a nuisance to fight than anything else. I was kind of gutted to see that he didn't come back in Black Ops 4, because I was like, with Classified, he could have been a lot more palatable with Black Ops 4's weapons. So I'm kind of...
I think there was I can't remember what they said, but I think there was a reason that they didn't bring him back.
Right.
I can't remember though.
I mean, they even had him in Blackout.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, which is crazy. Like, it's honestly, I think it's a shame we didn't get him again, though he was very annoying.
He was, yeah, for sure. I do think the reward for killing him made him worth it, though.
That's true. I mean, we'll get on to the reward later on, but I get what you mean. But yeah, so, but we did find out much later on. I don't know if we found. I think it was the timeline that we initially found this out, and then the Black Ops 4 map, Alpha Omega, really fleshed him out.
Yeah.
That the Pentagon Thief is Yuri from the Ascension radios.
Aye, so, like I say, I don't remember exactly when it was confirmed. I just remember one day it wasn't, and the next day it was.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly where it came from.
I believe it is the timeline,
right.
the official timeline, that it confirmed that Yuri was the Pentagon Thief.
Right. I guess it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it's ever alluded to in Ascension. I don't think so. All you know is he goes a bit crazy. But,
yeah. So, yeah, like on the Ascension radios, we have no idea what happened to like everyone.
Yeah.
It just by the end, it's assumed
except for
that
Gash.
An outbreak happens. Well, yeah.
Not counting him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right.
So,
oh god.
Yeah, a lot of the. I was just gonna say, like, a lot of this stuff that we're about to go over here in terms of the cast and story, a lot of it has been expanded upon through the likes of Black Ops 4 with Classified and Alpha Omega. And then there is some timeline stuff here as well. So, yeah, take it away.
All right, so we figured out through the timeline again that Americans reverse engineered Group 935's work after Richtofen made a deal with the Americans, following from the events of oh god, I'm trying to remember when it was that he made the deal. See, I wish I had the timeline in front of me. I should probably bring it up for future episodes.
Yeah, no. So this stuff is this was confirmed in Black Ops 4. So this is after the timeline. This is during or in the classified radios.
Right.
Okay. And I think it might have even been included in some of the Tag the Toten radios as well. I can't quite remember, but yeah. So it's just before Richtofen betrays like Maxis.
Right.
That and Samantha like gets trapped in the moon pyramid device. That he basically makes a secret deal with the Russians and the Americans, not telling either side that he's made a deal with them,
of course,
or deal with the other side to kind of like he basically said like to Russia and America separately, hey, all of Group 935's work is yours. In exchange, give some of my pals jobs, and
right,
leave me alone.
yes, yeah.
And then that leads to the standoff, which was I think it's in the Intel files for, it's either in the Intel files or the computer on the Black Ops 1 main menu.
Right.
That the Americans and the Russians had a standoff at Dariz.
Is this the one that has what's his name from Cold War in it?
Kravchenko.
Yes.
It's not Kravchenko himself. It's either
like
his cousin or his
yeah.
brother. I can't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah, and the Russians pick up or like get what they can, and the Americans get what they can. But the Russians pick up Richtofen's diary.
Oh yeah.
Which is why it ends up in Ascension.
All right. See, like, the complicated part for me here is, it's like, I used to follow the story really heavily until Black Ops 4, and I just totally lost interest with Black Ops 4, so a lot of the stuff in Black Ops 4 is where I'm totally in a blind spot with, so do forgive me if I'm constantly tripping over lore stuff, because I just didn't...
That's fair, I mean...
I did not follow Black Ops 4, because I didn't like the way the game was going at the time.
That's totally fair. I mean, I'll probably, if you want, I can take over the rest of this bit, and then you can go into the mechanics and gameplay in a second.
It might be a better fit.
So, okay. So, again, as was revealed in Classified, Dr. Schuster actually survived the events of what happened on the moon when Samantha initially got trapped.
No shot.
Huh?
No shot.
Yeah.
Don't buy it. No shot. He survived moon.
Yeah. He survived. I don't think he was even there, to be honest, when Samantha got trapped. Or he might have gone back to Earth.
I know one of them was there, but I'm going to assume it was Groff.
Yeah, Groff, I think, probably was there. But Schuster went back to Earth and started working with the Americans.
Yeah. And
he's the one who helped them develop things like the teleporters, including the one at Groom Lake.
Oh, right.
Which is why so in Classified, the reason we've got a teleporter that goes from the Pentagon to Groom Lake, and then from Groom Lake to the moon, is because of Dr. Schuster.
Oh, right, nice. It's like
his experiments.
He's like a little puppet master, isn't he, behind the scenes, like with Nuketown and all that.
yeah, for real. And his experiments is why on like trying to fix the teleporters, especially the ones for the moon, is the reason why there's all these astronauts on the moon.
Yeah. The more you know.
Yeah. And I don't know where this was confirmed, but apparently 5 is set the day after the events of Classified.
Right, okay.
Work out why the Pentagon is like completely squeaky clean for me.
I just love the idea that like the day after a zombie outbreak has happened, that all these presidents, secretaries, and all that show up to work. Nobody notices that anything's and then they're surprised yet again that the zombies have suddenly come back in again.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it must be like I always believed that. Is it not the case that 5 and Classified are in different timelines per se? They're not the same.
This is
the same one.
This is some people's thoughts, but I think like other people kind of assumed that.
Yeah.
I
mean, hey, the Carpenter exists. So who knows? Maybe they did fix the place up.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, the assumption is that based on the Classified intro cutscene, that they kind of try to teleport, and then again, the teleporter gets overloaded by the Wonder Weapon, and so they end up in Classified.
Yeah.
And then, like, Ultimus ends up in Classified from Shang. And then,
right.
Because you've got the teleporter that goes to Area 51, and that's where we end up, or that's where we kind of start the next map after Shang, is Moon.
Yeah.
In Area 51, that it's assumed that that's kind of why it's set in the same universe.
Right. Alright, fair enough, I guess.
So, yeah, make of that what you will. So, there's a lot more kind of, like, minute details, and niche details around Classified, but we won't get into that here. Not Classified 5. Obviously, being as both of them are set in the same kind of map, there's going to be a lot of overlap.
Yeah. Again, we should probably reiterate, we're considering Classified a separate map here. So we'll be covering that.
Yeah, and we'll. Yeah, for real. In the meantime, do you want to go over the mechanics and gameplay?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned in the initial thoughts, this map is a lot tighter than Kino, so it's definitely a lot tougher to get into. As you can imagine, it's essentially an office building. So if you can imagine what it's like running zombies around there, you've probably got a pretty good idea.
Absolutely. This is like one of my main gripes with 5 is because of how tight it is. I hate maps that are basically have like sections or corridors or walkways where they're only one person wide.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Voyage.
I much exactly. Well, yeah, I mean, like, or if there's doorways that are only like one person wide, like I definitely prefer Blundel's kind of era of at least making things 2 people wide.
Yes,
like
yeah.
If you go around on Classified, you can at least dip and dodge on the catwalk, whereas on 5, it's impossible.
I can't remember if, like, I don't know if they did increase the size of the hallways on Classified. I feel like they might have. Because I remember running the hallways was really difficult in 5, but in Classified I remember it not being quite as daunting.
Yeah, I'm the main sticking point on 5 for me is the catwalk on the top level of the war room.
Yeah, it's literally just once you've like committed to going round, you have no choice. If you've got a horde behind you, you have to keep going forward, and if something comes up in front of you, you're buggered pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll say this now, this map was pure misery to play with 4 people.
It was.
If you're trying to, like, train or, like...
Yeah.
It's fun if you're, like, all camping in the elevator, but it's not a training map.
That's exactly how I remember it. Me and my friends would always would always hide in the elevator and just jump the floors up and down, up and down, up and down. It's a lot of fun. I do have a lot of fun memories of doing that.
Yeah, for real.
With, like, the stakeout as well, because that was, like, the only gun in the... or right outside the door, so you had no choice but to use the stakeout. I mean, the stakeout wasn't terrible, to be fair. It did the job.
The stakeout's very much a worse version of the trench gun.
Pretty much, yeah. But it worked in a pinch, And it was also... it was decent pack-a-punched. I remember that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we're turning this into a review about the guns in 5 instead. So, as we mentioned before, it has the 3 levels, the offices, the war room, and the labs. We also have the panic room, which is accessible by flipping all the DEFCON switches, which is a bit, like I say, where you get Pack-a-Punch. But you can only stay in there for a limited time, can't you? Before the doors. Well, you're not stuck in there for a limited time, but you can only... once you've left, it's shut, and you have to wait for it to reopen again by pulling the switches again.
Yeah.
So, it's a pretty fun gimmick. Oh, go on.
I was just going to say, like, just speaking about the panic room here, where Pack-a-Punch is, it's one of my absolutely favourite kind of moments in Zombies period. Like,
Yeah.
whenever you go into Pack-a-Punch, like, zombies won't come in and attack you while you're Pack-a-Punching. It's not until the door's open that, zombies can start kind of coming in.
Yeah.
But I love that moment where you can see the timer above the door counting down from 5 to 1.
Yeah.
And the moment it hits 1, you can hear the zombies on the other side. They've all grouped up.
Yeah.
This was before, like, the janky kind of, like, mechanics of today where zombies would just despawn. No, all of these guys would just spawn in and group up at the door.
Yeah.
And then you see the door swing in and all of them just kind of bum rush you at the same time. And it's just an absolutely, like...
iconic moment.
Adrenaline... Yeah, it's an adrenaline rush moment where you, and if you got your friends, like, there, just all unload on this horde of zombies. It's, honestly, like, it's a you have to be there kind of moment.
I feel like on Classified it doesn't quite happen that way. I don't remember them grouping up on Classified, but maybe they do.
Honestly, I don't remember. I think some of them do, but it wasn't a massive horde because, like, in Black Ops 4, like, that's when they started despawning.
Yeah.
If you went, like, more than 2 feet away from them. But, like, in Black Ops 1, you could be on the other side of the map and they'll still be there.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I definitely see what you're saying. It was definitely one of the standout moments for 5, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was top notch.
I never asked this with Kino, so... What is your, like, favourite area of both Kino and 5?
For Kino, the alleyway. I don't know what it is about the alleyway. It's just always caught my attention. It's always been my training, like, spot of choice for multiplayer games. I don't do it in solo because it gets a bit tight on solo. But if you've got the zombies split between 2 or more players, it becomes a lot more manageable. Yeah, I think it's the alleyway for that one. And for 5, this one, like I say, I haven't played 5 a lot, so it would be kind of a cheap answer to say the elevator.
Which one?
The one that goes down to the labs is the one I remember camping in the most because it's bigger. Yeah, probably the elevator. As cheap of an answer as it might be. For Classified, it would probably be the war room, but for this, probably the elevator.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair.
What about you?
So Kino for me, it's probably the spawn, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's fair, especially in the remaster.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, the remaster is absolutely gorgeous. I would gosh over that like for hours.
Yeah.
But like that's my usual go-to place if I was playing multiplayer with randoms. Because like the stage was usually like taken up by someone else or 2 other people.
Oh yeah.
So I ended, and I didn't want to go to the alleyway, so I ended up going to the spawn, which
I'm hurt.
Yeah. You don't get as many kills in the alleyway as you do the other 3 places.
That's why I love it, because everyone else has to do all the heavy lifting.
That's fair. In 5, mechanically speaking, or functionally speaking, I should say, probably the war room. But in terms of just the vibe and the fun and of it, probably what I've discussed over about the panic room.
Yeah, for sure. I just wish that, I mean, I know why they did it. It makes sense. But I just wish that, like, they didn't come in through windows in the panic room. I wish they'd just come through that door, but I get why they don't. I understand that would make it like a custom map almost. It would be too easy, you know. So I get it.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, like, 5 almost feels like a custom map.
Yeah. Yeah, I see it.
It plays like a custom map for me sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. I see where you're coming from. It's like, just some of the areas as well, like, some of the layouts can feel a bit like a custom map. They definitely have that touch to them.
Yeah, and it might just be because like it heavily reuses assets from like campaign, which you often find with custom maps is that they often use like assets that are like have already been used.
That's true, yeah. And it's probably like this, the cast as well probably makes it seem a bit that way. They're definitely a bit more goofy than Ultimus were at that point, which is kind of hard to do.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, like all you need really to make it a true custom map is like all of the perk icons on the bottom plus a few extra ones, and
is this not a more YouTube thumbnail guideline than?
yeah. Well, I mean, you'd also need like a machine gun, ray gun.
Yeah, some gun that isn't even in the map, plastered over the top of it.
Yeah, and like for the thumbnail, you'll probably want like a floating golden ray gun as well.
Yeah, for sure. A zombie from COD Online, maybe as well. Like a boss.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God, I miss the Jimbathy guys.
Yeah, classic. What was it? The golden ray gun on Deriz?
Yeah. Or like the it's so good. Moving on. So we've already kind of spoken a bit about the Pentagon thief. So he steals your weapons. Targets one player at a time, but other players can, like, while they can't see him, they can still damage him.
Yeah,
he gives off like reward that
number trail, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. But most importantly, you mentioned the reward he drops.
Oh, yeah.
So if you kill him after he's stolen your weapons, you'll get a max ammo and a fire sale.
Mm-hmm.
But if you kill him afterwards, he'll drop a max ammo and then one of this map's 2 new power-up items. So, Josh, tell us what he drops.
Alright, so primarily I believe that if you kill him before he steals your weapon, you get a bonfire cell. And just to elaborate here, it needs to be before he takes anyone's weapon. It's not a case of taking all 4, he has to not take anybody's weapon for this to work.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's a bonfire sale, so I don't think we really get that frequently these days. I don't think we've had a bonfire sale since Black Ops 4.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it's Black Ops... Maybe Black Ops 3 with the through a gobble gun, but certainly not naturally until, like, Black Ops 4 this doesn't come back.
Yeah.
Like, naturally.
I can't remember exactly how much it reduces it to, but is it like 1,000?
I think it's 1,000.
Yeah. So basically, it just reduces the price of Pack-a-Punch to 1,000 points, which is a really good power-up, honestly. And I think it would fix a lot of the issues I have with Black Ops 6 with how long it takes to level everything up if they had a bonfire cell power-up. To make Pack-a-Punch cheaper, because it's way too expensive in Black Ops 6.
You never know, we might get a gobble gun for it.
God.
Pay to Pack-a-Punch.
Pay to Pack-a-Punch. He also drops a death machine, apparently. Which
No, he doesn't. He doesn't drop it.
He doesn't drop
it. So that's the other new power up that this map specifically introduced.
See, I was thinking
the death machine.
I was thinking that he dropped it as well. Okay, no,
right. Yeah, no,
my
sorry,
mistake.
That's my. No, it's okay. So that was the other power up that this map introduced alongside the bonfire sale was the death machine, which lasts. Is it 30 seconds?
Yes, I believe so. Because
unlimited
Ascension's
ammo.
biggest claim to fame was that its reward was 60 seconds. Woo!
Was it 60
whoop,
or
whoop.
45?
I think it was 60. I think.
Hey, give Ascension some credit. At least it was like the first proper Easter egg.
True.
And there was no way a perkaholic was going to work, or like perma perks would not work on Ascension.
I don't know. I think they might have if that was an idea at the time. But
if they got rid of the monkeys, then maybe. But yeah,
they do give you a perkaholic in Chronicles, so that's always fun.
Yeah, but there's monkeys can still steal your perks on that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So,
but who cares about the monkeys? I'm the one that paid for the game. The monkeys didn't pay for the game, so so I don't care what they want.
Anyway, so the death machine, it's not a. It might as well be a very, like, more or less an insta kill in the early rounds. Though I do remember it does, like, zombies do get very spongy on it very quickly on Black Ops 1.
Yeah. Again, going back to Ascension, I remember it being a big issue on that map.
And it's a great death machine, great power up. It's the first kind of unique power up in that it uses a blue kind of aura rather than the typical green one that most other power ups use.
Yeah. I assume that's just unanimous for it's a weapon and not a traditional power up. I assume that's what the difference is, because the Wonderwolf uses the same in Call of the Dead.
Yeah, but the Call of the Dead Wonderwolf was the death machine before you did the Easter egg.
True.
And I think that's only the one that Jaws drops as well.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And I think, so I'm kind of like doing my actually voice here. I think the power-ups that the QED, like the weapon power-ups that the QEDs can spawn on Moon, they're green as well.
Right.
So, yeah, it's not until, I want to say, it's not until Widow's Wine that we, like, have a different colour power icon.
Aye.
Other than the death machine.
Yeah, you could be right.
I could be wrong though. I think my main issue with the death machine is, at least in Black Ops 1, is that you can't, like, if someone goes down while you're using it, they might as well just kiss goodbye to everything.
Pretty much.
You can't revive people or put it away.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember it also being a death sentence in Black Ops 4 before they nerfed it. And made it so, like, you could unequip it. Well, did they make it so you could unequip it? I remember it was the drawing time that used to get you killed.
Oh, yeah. It was in Black Ops 3. That was when they reintroduced it back in Horizon Truck. The draw time was murderously slow.
Yeah.
But you could put it away.
Yeah. And it's like, I remember dying so many times when they first added it in Horizon Truck. And you'd try and equip it, and then it would just... Zombies would surround you. You couldn't do anything. Gone.
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to go over some of the other things that this map introduced?
Yeah, sure. So this was the first map to feature buildable traps. Eat your heart out, Transit.
I honestly couldn't believe, like, when I was thinking about it, how early that was. This early that you could, like, build traps.
Yeah, same. Like. I mean, it's not much. It's not gonna like if you haven't played it, this news isn't gonna blow anyone's minds. It's literally just the ability to put a switch on a thing to, like, make an electric trap in the upstairs hallway, which is it's a nice touch.
Oh,
God.
It's very, very basic. Like, you don't even, like, have an animation. You just, like, plop it in.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's strange that they didn't use, like, the pack-a-punch animation, like the finger cracking or something, like they do for the later games. But yeah, so I mean, if you're someone that goes for, like, round 100 or something, like, at least it gives you an option to use traps, so you can do that. Because I feel I don't think there's any other traps in the map other than the electric traps.
Yeah, it's just those two, and I think that's primarily what the high round strat is for people on Black Ops 1.
Yeah, just running laps upstairs and then running into the electric trap. Yeah, I get it. I mean, it makes sense. Also, it's probably worth mentioning, I don't know if we were going to make mention of it later, but we do get access to more teleporters around the map after power switched on.
Yes.
So you can now teleport from behind one of the TVs in the spawn room, which is pretty cool. And I believe it's not the center of the room in 5, is it? In the war room. That one's not there. That's a classified thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think there is one in the war room.
Yeah. No, I think...
Oh, no, tell a lie. No, there is. It's the... So you got the very center where that kind of orange globe is, and then it's just slightly to the left, or, like, slightly off it where the teleporter is.
Right.
But if you kind of have the parts for it, you can change it to the center of the orange globe to go to Area 51 or other places on the map.
Is that not classified though?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Right,
It's in
okay.
classified.
Okay, I was going to say,
Yeah,
I don't
but
think there's
in
one
5,
in 5.
it's... No, yeah, so that one isn't in 5, but it is just slightly off to the left or the right of the...
Right. So it's still in the map?
Of the globe. Yeah.
Okay, alright. See, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's under some sort of, like, arch or something. I don't know what it... I can't describe exactly what it is.
I can picture the war room in my head, but I can't think of... I just can't imagine one in there, but...
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, it might be right in the middle. Like in the dip bit.
I think it's just in front of the elevator, like to the
You're probably
to
right.
the labs.
Honestly, the last time we got footage for 5, which I don't know where that's gone, by the way. It must have been years ago at this point. I honestly don't even remember. I haven't touched 5 since we last played it. So yeah, well, there was apparently one in the war room, but I do not remember it. So
all of the teleporters are random as well. Like, there's no indication of where you're gonna go in this.
Exactly. Yeah, so it can be a bit frustrating to use. This was again something that was remedied and classified. Thank God.
Yeah, for real.
So beyond that, this is also the first map to have a proper CGI cutscene as its introduction, which was pretty cool. It's so weird because I remember thinking, oh, they gave us the CGI cutscene here, so maybe the rest of the maps for like the original crew will have it. No. We never got a cutscene again for this game.
Call of the Dead.
Call of the Dead, yeah. That's true. Beyond Call of the Dead, then.
Yeah, no, it's quite funny. I mean, I put in our document here to call it like a true CGI cutscene, because I know that Nectar and Toten has a kind of CGI cutscene for that. But I think this is the first one where you got like characters talking and you can actually see the zombies and like
yeah,
first kind of like proper like intro cutscene that we come to expect later on.
Yeah, for sure.
I love the classified intro cutscene.
Oh yeah.
It's just a storm, Dick. Sit down.
I just noticed you called it classified there. Pointing that out.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, 5. Sorry, it's the first. Yeah, no, I love the 5 intro cutscene. I honestly get the 2 mixed up too often.
I mean, they are the same map, I guess. In fairness.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the the peak of intros for Black Ops 1. That's for sure. You said
it's honestly like.
It's just a storm, Dick.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. It's honestly like just everything you would expect from intro cutscene for this map.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%.
It almost feels like fan fiction written.
It does. It's like I said, like, was it in our review one for Black Ops World at War, where we went over all the maps and we were going to order them? I'm sure I said that 5's intro cutscene was like one of the highlights for me. Just how goofy the cast is and everything like that. There's really nothing else like it, and like the fact that they managed to take someone like, you know, like one of the presidents and make them into like a goofy character like that. I don't know, it just still impresses me today.
I love how like Nixon is just like he's almost like how he is on Futurama.
Oh
like,
yeah,
he's just a head in the jar. Like, it's honestly so funny. It's a stupid little quote, but I love Kennedy's like it's when he gets a nuke and he goes, and that's how you push the button.
Yeah,
like,
I do remember that one.
It makes me laugh. I love it so much.
I always love the one when you get revived and it's like, back in the game, kids.
Yeah. Honestly, like, yeah, I wish we got more of the 5 crew, but in today's like day and age, it'd probably be a bit insensitive to
Probably,
like,
yeah. Oh well, what can you do?
What can you do? Let's talk about the Wonder Weapon. So, this map introduced the Winter's Howl to us. Yay!
I mean, it's good against the Pentagon Thief.
What? Slowing him down? That's about it.
To be fair, it does actually kill him in like 3 shots.
Yeah, I suppose, but
it's like literally the only use case. Like, I'm sure I talked about it in the previous one where we discussed our thoughts on this one a little bit. That the Winter's Howl is like the antithesis of the Wonder Weapon that 5 needed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You do not need a weapon that slows them down when you've got tight corridors and catwalks and walkways. You don't need to slow them down. You want them out of the way.
Exactly. Like, you needed the thunder gun.
Yeah, exactly. I appreciate that they didn't want to use it again for 3 maps. I can appreciate that, but
yeah.
Oh, I just wish we'd had something else.
Yeah, it very much is just like, this isn't going to do anything more than just give them the sniffles and a cold. Like,
I mean, you can squeeze past them with it, but it's so most of the time
tricky.
They just kind of clump together and then freeze right in front of you, and you just can't get past it all. And it takes like
I think
oh, go on.
I was just gonna say, like, I think the fall off in terms of damage and insta kill capability for the pack-a-punched version is like round 20, which for a Wonder Weapon is criminal.
It really is, yeah. Is the Black Ops 3 version any better for Verrucht?
Is it in Black Ops 3?
Yeah, it's in Verrucht, remember?
I don't.
Or is it Black Ops 1 Verrucht? It might be Black Ops. No.
Is Black Ops 1?
Yeah, Black Ops 3 Verrucht.
No, you're right.
Black Ops 3 is the Wunderwaffe, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's Black Ops 1 Verrucht, which is like suffers the same issue.
Yeah. They have like a knack of putting it in the worst maps for that particular one.
I know. I mean, it kind of got a little better in Black Ops 4, but it's still not great.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, I don't really remember using it in Classified too much, but I don't remember it being the best.
I like the idea of it, and I like how it fires in the animation and the sound of it, but it's just... I don't know. I don't like, in any kind of video game, weapons that just kill... deal cold damage.
Yeah, for sure. It kind of feels like... Well, one of the things I do like about it aesthetically is it's one of the few weapons that actually feel like a prototype. Like, it physically looks like a prototype.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's kind of why it's, like, fitting for this map, because that's pretty much what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, true. Which is funny, because they have ray guns lying all over the map, but no one ever uses them. I'm like, just pick it up. But to be fair... Even the ray gun is a terrible fit for this map. Splash damage.
Without yeah. Yeah, like there definitely needed to be kind of a proper get out jail free card for this map, which is why if I do ever play this one, I tend to run the crossbow.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, again, I would recommend the Mustang and Sally's, but PhD isn't a thing yet, so can't even use that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for real.
What would, like, just for banter's sake, what would you use? What would you pick as a wonder weapon for this map? If you could...
Out of the established ones?
Yeah, if you could re-roll it. Honestly, I think the Mark II could have worked.
Yeah, the Mark II would be good.
Even the Wunderwaffe, maybe.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because that was meant to be in this map, but they cut it out. So yeah, like either the Mark II or the Wunderwaffe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I say, like the Mark II feels like it was made for 5. It's even like a prototype of the original.
For real. I mean, the worst bit is that the Winter Tower isn't even the worst wonder weapon in this game. But we'll get on to the VR11.
I was wondering what it was, and then I was like, oh yeah, never mind. Hey, without the VR11, we'd never have the CIA in Black Ops 2, so you've got to...
That's true. Gotta go with what we've been given.
I think it's funny that they use the same model. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, for real, I get you.
Alright, so again, as we mentioned earlier, the Nova Crawlers reappear in this map, but only in the basement, I believe. I think?
Yep, so...
I don't know if they'll follow you up after you've turned power on, I can't remember.
The moment you step foot into the labs at any round, they will spawn for the rest of the rest of the round.
Damn you!
No matter where you are, yeah. So, while the labs might seem a more kind of viable place for some people to train and run around in, it's not worth it if you're trying to avoid the Nova Crawlers.
Aye, for sure. Yeah, so like at least you have a counter. Well, then again, I suppose you have a counter in Black Ops 1, in Kino de Toten as well. Just don't turn the power on. But good luck doing that.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you know, like in 5, it's an area that's kind of like optional. You don't really need to go to the. Well, I mean, you do if you want power on, I guess. But at least with 5, you can go to pretty much the rest of the map without triggering them. But in Kino, you know, you've got no choice. You want the stage. Yeah. Everyone wants the stage open. It's got Jug. So you don't really have a choice but to set them off. So at least there's a counter here.
That's true. I mean, one could make the argument, though, that they shouldn't have to cut off a third of their map just to avoid an enemy type.
True. It's kind of like, what is it in Origins? There's like a strategy you can do that avoids like the walls in the crazy place coming down, but I can't remember exactly what order you have to do it in.
It's just not taking the crystals.
Right. Well, that's not too bad then, I suppose.
For the staffs, yeah.
But no staff then, I guess. So it's like, ugh.
Well, that's it. Like the moment you take any of the crystals for the staff, that's when the walls start moving. So it's pick your poison, really.
I'd rather just do the Easter egg, to be honest, and then just survive in there till you're bored.
Yeah, exactly.
At that point, why not, you know? Alright.
Yeah. Right. Time for our favourite section, music.
Maybe not quite for this map. Sorry, Eminem fans.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for Won't Back Down by Eminem, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
And Beyonce, is it? Is it Rihanna? I don't even remember.
It might be. Yeah, I think it's Rihanna.
Right.
Let me just check.
Shows how in the know I am. Right.
Let's see. I probably should have. Oh no, it's Pink.
Pink.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's by Eminem and it features Pink.
Oh right. Honestly, I had no idea. That's bizarre.
There you go. Yeah, I think the only reason it's included in this game at all is because it was the trailer song.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do remember that.
The Black Ops 1. So yeah, it's genuinely not the best. Honestly,
I feel like
I wouldn't say it even fits this map.
I'm trying to like talk about it in a zombie sense and not I personally didn't like this song kind of way. But yeah, I don't think it fits the map. Really?
Yeah.
Like I say, it all depends what you listen to, I guess. Whether you'll take to it or not.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, neither of us are rap fans, are we?
Not particularly, no.
So, yeah, I mean, I would definitely rate this very low on my list, if not at the bottom.
For this game,
I know other people.
it would be at the bottom for me. For sure.
I know other people like do love Eminem and rap, and that's not like
Yeah, exactly.
different strokes for different folks. Like, if you like it, then no judgment here. Personally, I don't think we do. This isn't our kind of type of music, so yeah, not a lot of positives to say about this. I do find it funny that there was a time, like, there's a bit in the song where, like, the volume just cuts out.
Oh, does it?
Which is actually part... it's part of the song.
Right, okay.
And then it kind of immediately goes back up, and I'm like, hang on a minute, what's going on with my song? Is it is it broken? And then it's like, oh no, actually that's how it's meant to be.
Like, I seem to remember when we did it, when we were playing it and we were recording the footage for it, like the first time round. I seem to remember that we just didn't turn it on.
Yeah.
It's like one of the few songs that I just don't activate.
Yeah.
I think I activate every other guest song. I'm pretty sure I do, but just not that one. I just don't think it fits.
No, I'm right there with you. I know that this game, kind of moving on from Went Back Down, I didn't mention it here, but thinking about it when you mentioned the elevators, like, this is the first time we got the kind of iconic elevator music in Zombies.
Oh, yeah. To be reused in the biodome, is it?
Yeah, and pretty much every game since, I guess, just more remastered.
Yeah, I can hear it in my head. Ugh. Just thinking about it, I can recognize it like immediately.
Yeah, I think most people probably recognise that music from this map then Won't Back Down.
Yeah, probably. Maybe that led the decision to not include like Carry On and that in Black Ops 2's Transit, because maybe Won't Back Down wasn't that well received, so they were like, alright, no more trailer music in the map.
The thing is that, like, certainly the Carry On does.
Yeah.
Like, it fits with Transit, and that might be because that's what they chose to, like, show off the Transit trailer.
Yeah, true.
So it's already kind of established itself, whereas this one just, I don't know, it just...
came out of left field.
It just didn't.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Yeah. Right, let's move on to the other section, unless you had anything else to go over.
No, I think that's it.
Okay. So these are just, like, odds and ends, like, bits of trivia and discussion that we wanted to go over that we just couldn't fit anywhere else. So, the first thing I wanted to kind of talk about was the visual storytelling of the map. I think this map has a better kind of visual, like, the environmental storytelling of this map is definitely a lot better than Kino.
Don't you mean Rebirth?
Yes, Josh, I mean Rebirth. No, I really, it's mainly the lab section that this is, like, really showcased. Where you can see, like, prototypes of the Winter's Howl, or, like, bits of ray gun that have been taken apart. I think through a window you can see a teleporter, like, mainframe.
Yeah.
And I really love anything that does kind of visual storytelling, where, like, it shows that the Americans are messing with stuff that we've already come across before.
Yeah, I definitely prefer it to sometimes, like, overly just telling you what they're doing. Like, sometimes, just seeing it is enough to know what they're doing, and I think that's a good example of it.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I've always preferred the show don't tell, like, version of storytelling, rather than just being bombarded with, like, every, like, little nitpick and like,
every story element,
explanation. Exactly. Like, let me figure some of this out myself, or kind of come to my own conclusions myself, which I think is the magic of early Zombies, is that, like, a lot of it was, like, a lot of the story was built by theorists.
Yeah. Unlike with, say, Cold War, where it's all spilled out for you on a page, and you've got the whole thing, like, from, like, start to finish.
Exactly. Give me like 400-page worth of like intel and radios and documents.
Yeah, exactly. It does get a bit out there. Yeah, for sure. No, I totally agree. I definitely prefer like you said, show don't tell, for sure.
I think we'd be remiss in mentioning the labs and not talking about the pig.
Oh yeah, the pig.
And the theories and like rumors around
Oh
it.
yeah, like killing it will stop your jug from working or something nonsensical like that. I can't quite remember what it was.
Yeah. Or, like, I think one for me was like if you killed it on a particular round, the next round a Pentagon thief would spawn in.
Ugh. I mean, that would have been a useful gimmick at least. At least you could get him when you're ready.
Oh yeah, for real. Yeah. Honestly, like Peter is having like a field day with like
Oh yeah,
with, killing the pigs. Oh dear.
And even like brought it back in classified, didn't they?
Yep.
I don't remember it getting
Absolutely.
quite as much attention that time, but it was though.
No. Yeah. I think I just killed it just to put it out of its misery, to be honest.
I mean, to be fair, if you won't, the zombies will. So,
Exactly.
what's worse, really? Are you want to take on this next bit?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, I already kind of mentioned it before, but like the Wonderwolf, as well as the Hellhounds, were meant to be present in this map, based on like if you go and like YouTube like character quotes, you can actually hear them talking about it, about both of them. But these ended up both of them ended up on the cutting room floor. So I'm honestly kind of glad that the Hellhounds didn't come back. Because can you imagine
Hellhounds and
map?
zombies running around at the same time. I mean, I don't need to. Classified on Black Ops 4 at launch.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh dear lord, that was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have definitely been. I'm glad that we got something new with the Pentagon Thief. Like, as annoying as he might have been, at least we didn't have Hellhounds. So it could always be worse. Whenever you're doubting yourself, just remember, it could always be worse.
It could always be worse. Did you ever, kind of moving on here, like, did you ever do any of the old AFK glitches?
I remember the one where you could dive on the table and spawn. That's the only one I know of.
Yeah, so I managed to do that one once. I've seen people. It's down one of the staircases in the war room from the catwalk. I think if you go, as if you're facing it and you go left,
Yeah.
there's a window there, and I remember seeing people just kind of like, basically they've gone prone on top of the window, and so all you could see is just their legs, sitting out.
Huh. Don't remember this one.
But yeah, that was it might have been, it could have even been classified, but I'm pretty certain it was in Black Ops 1. And it's just funny just seeing like these people with their legs like sticking out.
Yeah, I can imagine. The only AFK glitch I really know is the one on classified, the 151 that I did. Or the one that you found, rather.
Yeah. Yeah, but at least with that one, that was a means to an end. You needed to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Screw doing it legit, you know. I'll be honest with you. I don't have time for 150 rounds.
No, me either.
So I have patience for it.
Yeah. Don't you worry. I'm gonna rant and rave about that.
Oh yeah.
Or rant about it when we get to it. Don't you worry.
Aye.
I'll let you take over this next half, because you've written most of this in.
Alright, no bother. So, just a bit of trivia really to wrap up. A lot of this is from the Call of Duty Wiki, since I didn't really have a lot of time to add to this before we started recording. So, if any of it's incorrect, I do apologise. Take it up with them, not me. I mean, to be fair, it's a public resource. All right, so this one's definitely accurate because of confirmed this ourselves, can't we? The portrait of Richtofen in the panic room, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
I don't know exactly why that's there. I don't know if there's a reason for that in the original timeline that makes sense, because he can't have done the deal yet at this point. So I assume that's more a different timeline thing, is it?
I honestly don't know. I mean, they might have done. Well, they would have done the deal at this point.
Yeah.
By the time this map takes place, but I don't know why the portrait's here, because obviously, unless Richtofen sat for 2 portraits, because like this map takes place only a couple of days after Kino.
That's true. Yeah. Maybe he just had to take some time off in between maps.
Yeah, maybe. I hate how they changed this in Classified, that it was and this is where the blank portrait was confirmed to be Primus Nikolai.
Right, what did they change it to in Classified again? I can't remember. Is it Nikolai?
So they changed they changed it to the blank portrait, and then if you did a little Easter egg, then it would reveal to be Primus Nikolai.
Right. I don't think I remember that one. I don't think I ever did it.
Yeah, no, I don't remember how you did it. I'll probably look it up for when we do the classified video, but yeah, it's not my favourite bit of change.
Yeah, for sure. I guess it makes sense given the original timeline that it would be Richtofen, I suppose. But I don't know why he's there. But oh well.
Yeah,
it's whatever. Maybe they just like him.
Who knows?
And they wanted a portrait.
Maybe. Maybe.
Alright, so another little Easter egg in there is you can find images of the World at War campaign or its characters in the upstairs hallway, which is pretty cool. Like Sergeant Roebuck, I believe, is one of them. And there's a few pictures from campaign, certain levels. There is one that I know, but I'm not going to try and pronounce because I'll butcher it. So we'll just ignore that for now. But I'll see if I can get them on screen, because I might be able to pull the textures for them. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
5 is also absent from the Wii and iOS versions of Black Ops. I believe it's also
okay.
I don't know about the iOS version for certain, but I think it is. I do not remember it being available on there. It's just Kino, Ascension, Call of the Dead, I think. I believe so.
Honestly, that's so funny because I often forget about 5 whenever I'm doing like lists of zombies maps.
Yeah, you're not the only one. And like, as silly as it is, this is going off on a bit of a tangent here, but I do really like the name 5. I don't know what it is about it. It's just so straight to the point.
Oh yeah.
I think it's
honestly, it does.
Oh, go on.
I was gonna say it basically tells you what the map is about, or where it's at.
Exactly. It's like you said, it's not subtle at all. It's straight to the point. I don't know why they use the quotation marks for it, but they always do that in the menu for some reason, so I've included them on here.
Fair enough.
But I don't know. I always just liked it because, like I said, I just thought it was very standout on the list. You've got Kino, De Toten, and then just 5.
5.
And you're like, all right. I don't know why, but for some reason 9 didn't work quite as well for me. Now it's just a competition of numbers. Which number do you like more?
5? But it's the second map. Why are we calling it 5?
I mean, it could be if you swap Kino around. I guess.
Yeah, they missed an opportunity there.
They did, yeah.
Treyarch!
Alright, so another bit of trivia that we have is that originally, based on some footage that you can see on the TVs in the main menu, is that Quick Revive was originally supposed to occupy the space where Speed Cola is in the current version of the game. So that's pretty cool. That's like the only bit of developmental history we have. Quick Revive was moved.
Yeah.
I know. Stand out. But it's still worth mentioning.
I wonder if that was like before or after the changes to Quick Revive were made.
I wonder, yeah. Not entirely sure. Like I say, we'll have to get you get in contact with somebody who knows about all this stuff that could talk about it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And we got two more. Oh no, one more. Sorry. The Dead Ops Arcade magazine that can be found in the Panic Room, which is pretty cool. Titled Space Race, I believe, according to the wiki.
Yeah.
It's got a picture of the Cosmic Silverback on it, I think. I wonder if they had Ascension in mind when they made Dead Ops Arcade.
It must have been in the pipeline.
Yeah, it must have been. And did we mention this? What map Kino 5 is taken from? I don't remember if we went over this. Yeah, I know exactly which level it is. It's that short walking segment.
It's taken from two campaign levels if you really want to be
Rebirth as well.
So it's from the Rebirth Island Labs. That's what the bottom section is.
Yeah.
But the top section's taken from... It's the mission after you break out of Vorkuta.
Yeah.
But before you blow up the rocket at the Cosmodrome.
Yeah, it's the one where you're in the Pentagon, isn't it? And you actually meet JFK and that sort of thing.
It's basically just a glorified cutscene.
I wonder if they looked at that and thought, we could turn this into a proper level, and we got 5.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were probably like, look, we've made all this, and it's not even being used outside of a very short on rails cutscene. So
yeah,
we may as well make a zombies map out of it, because why not?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, despite kind of 5 being on my lower kind of end of the lists, I'm really glad that they did make it, because it would have been such a missed opportunity to have all of those assets and the space and not have done anything with it other than the cutscene.
True.
So it is. I'm really glad that they did make it.
Yeah, I do think, bringing it to a close, really. I do think Black Ops wouldn't quite be the same if we didn't have 5. I could definitely appreciate it for its slightly different take, I guess, on what we had already.
Yeah, for real. One could argue that 5 thematically fits more into Black Ops 1 than Kino does.
Yeah, for sure. Like we said in that previous one, Kino was originally supposed to be an extension to World at War. That got moved over to Black Ops because it was too late in development. So,
yeah.
Like you say, Kino 5 definitely fits more. Why do I keep getting them mixed up? God's sake. Yeah, 5 definitely fits more thematically with the rest of the game. Like I say, ultimately, I'm glad we got it. Even though I'm not particularly huge on it, I do think it was it's still a really well-made map. And it has some great characters and great story moments and that sort of thing.
Yeah, for real.
Absolutely. Well, I don't know. I do have one more bit of trivia, but I don't know if it's worth including, really.
You've already made mention of it here, so you might as well...
Yeah, true. It's just that I believe I mentioned it. I believe we mentioned it in Kino. That in the 5 is referenced. God, if I can get my words out. That 5 is referenced in Kino when you use the teleporter, and also Ascension is alluded to as well. So that's pretty fun.
Oh, in the rooms.
Yeah, where you can launch the rocket. It's a room from 5, isn't it?
Yeah,
but it's also a direct reference to Ascension. So I guess it was kind of in development then, or they were at least planning on using the launch map for something in Zombies.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah, it's always weird playing launch now. I don't play it very often, but the last time I went on it in private match and just looked around, I was like, it's crazy how much more how many more areas there are in launch than there are in Zombies.
yeah, absolutely. And launch is also... We'll cover this more in the Ascension episode, but launch and Ascension are both taken from campaign as well. So it honestly is funny to see where these maps have directly come from.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as we get further into it, we start getting more original maps. after Ascension, isn't it? Like, don't believe Call of the Dead, Shangri-La, Moon especially is not from campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some assets.
The only bit,
there, but
yeah, I mean, aside from like texture and maybe like some rocks or like trees, in terms of like layout and building structure and things like that.
yeah.
The only thing maybe is like the Call of the Dead submarine, not submarine, the Call of the Dead ship might be taken from campaign, but
Right.
even then it's a stretch.
Yeah. That was always really cool. I always remember that transition for being like, it's when Ascension came out, even back then, I was like, oh, it's that map. But it was weird when Call of the Dead came out and you're like, I don't recognise this at all.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Did you have any other final thoughts on 5?
No, I think that's about it.
Alright. Well, in which case, next episode we will try to cover the Elden Ring Night Rain game, if we feel like we have enough to talk about with it.
Yeah.
Failing that, if not, we will discuss the first DLC for Black Ops 1 and the Zombies map Ascension. So stay tuned to see what comes up next.
Aye.
Other than that, again, usual YouTube pleasantries of like, share, and subscribe. And until then, I will catch you later.
Alright, well, I will take over for this last bit then. Closing comments. So, one more reminder again that we are looking for help with Ascension and I guess future Easter eggs for Black Ops 1 by extension.
Yeah.
So, if you want to help with that and you own an Xbox, just reach out on here or over on Discord and we'll get in touch. Beyond that, though, we'd also like to know what your thoughts on 5 are. And I guess see if you feel about like the same way we do about it. And we'll catch you in the next one. All right. See ya.